Oh, and we are live. Oh, man. Barely, barely. And this is why I wanted to do a show on life and the afterlife, right? And what's next? What's to come? What's the deal? What's the meaning of life? Why are we here? What are you doing? What are you doing every day? You doing the right thing? You happy? You think the meaning of life is happiness? For some people, it's a pursuit of happiness, right? You know what a pursuit of happiness is? Being able to find things that make you happy in doing them, no matter what that is, right? Hopefully it's legal. Hopefully you're not like Charlie Sheen or something like that. But I'll say this, man. Life can also be pain, and life is the experience. The things that we experience forms us for good, for bad. And that's a sad, sad part of when people are suffering. You often think, what have they learned? Well, what do you learn? I go into the cancer suite, I see people sitting there getting booted up with chemicals to kill this virus. And then if you ask those people, well, what have you learned? Are you a better person for it? And what do they answer? I mean, so when it comes to living, you got to live for today because it may not be a tomorrow. You never know what's going to happen. Or you could have a huge aneurysm, bang, you're a freaking vegetable sitting there in some nursing home or hospice care waiting to die, just sitting there like a freaking baked potato, just waiting to be buried, right? Or do you go out and live your life? You taste life, you know? The people who give, like, give their all, you know, it's kind of hard to describe, but it's about taking the chance, pushing the envelope, seeing what you're made of. You're going to die anyway. Would you rather die in a hospital with them taking data, records, all the stuff that happens to you, right? Picking you apart, leveling on tens of thousands of dollars in costs at the same time? Drowning in debt. Number one bankruptcy reason in the US is medical debt because we don't have a system, we don't have a plan. Their plan is no plan at all. Their plan is to bamboozle people. But I'm talking about living, the taking a chance, the things that we need. Or you say to yourself, oh, I don't know, I can't do it. Maybe I shouldn't do it or whatever. Or do you say to yourself, of course I could do it. I'm going to go out there. I'm going to do the best. I'm going to do great. You know who does that? People like Henry Rollins, right? I I had the privilege of talking to this guy many years ago when he was in the bands Black Flag and whatever, and Henry Rollins band. They'd be playing through the clubs. I was an entertainment writer on Long Island when I met him, and this this guy was the manager of a Haagen-Dazs store in Philadelphia, and the band offered him to come with them and be their lead singer. And man, he said he had to make that decision of, hey, I can move up through the chain of these Haagen Dazs stores and make some money. You imagine Henry Rollins, a Haagen Dazs manager. He walking in, got a paper hat on his head with that face, man. Henry Rollins. But he took the chance. He left the Haagen Dazs behind. He embraced the band and he made that band what it was, and also, of course, the Henry Rollins band, and became an actor and did all these great things. You can go on YouTube and type his name, and there's all kinds of talks that he gives and whatever, But I like the fact that the guy is real, and he took a chance, and he tells people that you got to do that, because if he did, he'd be in some other ice cream store in Philadelphia or some 7-Eleven by now, whatever, aging with nothing, living paycheck to paycheck, barely, you know? So you take the chance. So when this life is your life, you don't let things get in the way. You don't let people stop you. You should be around people that support you, mentally, physically, spiritually, people who are positive for you. The ones who are negative, who are telling you you can't do it, those are the ones who are poison, deadly, deadly poison, worse than rattlesnake bite. You need to go on the adventure. And we are. We're on a spiritual adventure. Deepak Chopra, you know that guy? You see his daughter out there kicking up her heels, man. That's kind of interesting. It's very funny. I think family lineage and embarrassment, very, 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 very funny. Like Miley Cyrus and her father, Billy Ray Cyrus. Unless like he's a hillbilly. You think that he's kind of like proud of her that she's such a or whatever. Like she's out there riding the record ball naked. Just do it, I guess. Just do it. Hey man, just do it. I'm not gonna judge people. I'm not gonna. Oh, probably I did, but you know what? Nobody wants to see me riding a wrecking ball naked. If they do, they're screwed up. They're messed up. You messed up. If you want to see something like that, you got freaking problems. But the reality is, the people that live life, that take that chance, are the ones who are envied by others who are dead. You're dead. You're just walking dead. You are the walking dead. You go and you're in your drudgery and you do your thing and whatever. And what happens? You fall into a coffin, or they burn your body up in a bunch of ashes. Some friends, relatives come around. They cry a bit and they talk a lot of stuff and share some memories, and they go, and life goes on without you. Life goes on without you. Uh, right? So what do you get out of the experience? Except birth to death. Birth to death. You're born and you die. Every day is a struggle in your body, your cells, your blood, all kinds of battles going on with your white blood cells trying to keep you going. The battle goes on outside your body with people, you know, cutthroats, whatever. They're good people too. You got to get that charge from good people. And then you reflect that, right? There are some people that see that and they want to suck it out of you because they're jealous. They don't like it. You got to be your own star player. But every human has these two elements, man. I'll call them elements: your paranoia, right? And your confidence. Confidence and paranoia. So your confidence, imagine your confidence in your head. Like the coolest person, I would have The Rock. The Rock is my confidence. That dude, big muscle bound, muscle head. I love the guy, man. You feel like the dude can accomplish anything because you've watched his movies where he's indestructible. He blowing up helicopters, ships, or whatever. Yeah, I know it's a movie. Duh. But you know what? I actually think he's genuinely a good guy. But I like his confidence. And you know what modeling is? The term model, not modeling like supermodel type of stuff. I'm talking about things that you want to obtain, and modeling yourself to follow those things, looking at famous people and following in their footsteps for that type of success. You would think that if you mimicked and you modeled yourself after them, whether it's a business you own and there's a successful business that you want to obtain that kind of a success, and you model after that business, whether it's an individual, maybe it's a sports star, and then you're in high school sports or you're in college sports and you want to get to that area, you got to get to that zone. Yeah, you might be different, built different, whatever, but it's about the energy behind it, going forward, pushing ahead. So with energy, every move deserves and demands a counter move. There's no such thing as movement without counter movement. Something has to give. Something has to take. Something has to And we call it yin and yang in the Tao, in the world of Taoism. And it's a harmony. It's working harmony. It's a beautiful thing that goes on. And if you can find that contentedness within inside of that working harmony, then you're 100% whole. And like Lao Tzu said, the ancient philosopher, if you're really whole, all things will come to you. It's an energy. You got to work on that energy level. So the reality is, I want that rock as my confidence. Paranoia, Pee Wee Herman, man. You know what I mean? Like, he's not even that paranoid. Actually, that guy is pretty confident, right? He's pretty confident. Who would your paranoia? You ever think about that? Like, if you actually like to, like, take people that you know from the world or whatever, the weakest, most sniveling little kind of Slumninsky type of weak little, like, ugh, yeah, he's so like weak, like, yeah. I'll think of it. Just give me a minute. But the thing is, you need to be more confident than paranoid. They're supposed to keep each other in check. Some people's paranoia goes over control. That affects you spiritually, man. You know? So, like, we did a show last night about things like this. We mentioned the block universe of predetermination to everything that happens. Let's say your life is completely predetermined and we're just living life, and every choice we make, everything we do has already been planned and predetermined. All right. Not too far off the spectrum. It's funny how science fiction movies often become true. You ever notice that movies 50s, 60s, 70s, whatever? These movies, the science and the engineering and the things that behind them actually came true. So you can make something from nothing with an idea. That idea sparks the invention, which is the thing that you can materialize. So to say that your feelings or the things you think can't make anything tangible materialize, it's completely false. Because you have inventors, Nikola Tesla, people that went out and used their passion and used their depth and then took the chance, and yeah, they failed. Or did they fail? Is it failure if you go out and do something? Just because it doesn't work out doesn't mean it's a failure because you went and did it. The failure would be if you didn't do it. That if you didn't think you were good enough. That if you stayed in that Haagen-Dazs store. That's the failure. You know? So I think that if you can do something, you should. Because that's the talents that God gave you, made you into what you are. The paranoia, yeah, you don't want to be too confident. The Rock, he gets a little crazy. You know what I mean? Want to grab paranoia and kind of throw him out the window. I still don't have a good paranoia, man. I'm really, really trying to think of it. You know, it would probably be a politician, man, because I think a lot of them are just weak, and I don't even know that. But paranoia, it's not even the weakness; it's the doubtfulness, the second guessing. Probably my ex should be the best example of that. You know, when you're doing something great, that voice comes in. You're not great. You're not so great. It's not great. Oh, everybody's doing it. Or do you want to do it too? That doubtfulness, the ones who will shake your ground if it's 24 hours in your face, for year after year after year, and destroy your spirit if you let it, right? You know. So the afterlife. The afterlife is in the world of Taoism, death is going home, life is having to leave home. So wow, think of it in those terms, you know. So in the afterlife, don't you think you'd have some kind of usefulness? What's your usefulness now? What do you do? What are you? We're all different. We all need to do something. We all need to make money and support ourselves. We all need to eat. We need to sleep, a safe place, hopefully. We need to go out there and live, right? Then, in the midst of all that, we need to do a whole bunch of other stuff. Things come in. Medical stuff happens sometimes, things with your family or whatever. No matter what, life happens. You know, obstacles come up and then you take care of those obstacles. But it's about the experience. So let's say it's a block universe, right? And you're living your life with your paranoia and your paranoia and your confidence. You're running down the street, living your life, right? If it's predetermined and there's really nothing that you can do to change things specifically, because you know life itself, we have very limited choices in life. You know, even politically, we have very limited choices in general, and we're kind of confined to a space that we need oxygen, you know, water and food. Otherwise, we're going to die. So we're dependent on the environment around us. We don't just exist unto ourselves. We need things, otherwise we perish. So, in the midst of all of that, as you're living this life, let's say you don't have choices, then it comes down to experience because it's how you feel, it's what you feel inside, it's the experience, right? Are you happy with that moment? Are you sad in that moment? You can look at anything all kinds of different ways. You can examine and think about things in all kinds of different ways. You can find happiness and sadness in many things, you know. So, you know what? I was talking to this woman, right? When the pandemic started, and I was kind of ousted in my life, backstabbed, shoved out the door. Yeah, yeah. So you pick yourself up, you dust yourself off, you say, okay, this is what I'm doing. I was talking to this girl, some hottie on Long Island. She was a lawyer. She's a child psychologist. You know, she had a child who was autistic, and then she was going to dedicate her life to autism. It was beautiful, man. Gave her a sense of purpose, right? But you know, in talking to this person, she said that you know it's kind of funny. You had all these beautiful moments in like you know Christmas, families all around, and she'd be crying because she was sad because it was going to end. She wasn't enjoying the moment in of itself, right? She was saying, "Well, it's going to end, so I'm going to be sad." So I'm like, you got to be in the moment. You can't think of, wow, man, I'm having such a great time now, but damn, it's going to end. His life is going to suck again. But if I was going to go back in time, and I do live in the past a little bit, I think we all have to because those are our roots. I'm better now than I was then. You don't want to be the guy who is in your 40s or whatever, or 50s, looking back saying, hey, I haven't changed since I was 17. You know what I mean? That's pretty sad because we all change. We adapt. We overcome. We live our lives. We experience things. Those things make us into what we are. Oh, you're a little kid. You burn your hand. You learn your lesson. Don't burn your hand again. You do it again, you're stupid. That's all. You know, or it takes some people a little bit longer than others to come up with that. So the reality is it's the experience and it's the emotion and what you feel. And that's what you carry with you. So okay, past lives, We know people that have gone into past life regression. I've had people on the show that did that, right? Hypnotists and all. I'm not a huge believer in hypnotizing people. I think a lot of people are, if they're susceptible to that, that's kind of interesting. I've just never felt like it was all that real, like where there were time going on there. I know people out there that have all kinds of experience, and I just have never experienced that for myself. You know what I mean? So the jury's out with me. But I do believe that people have a lot of pasts and also a lot of futures. How do you know that this is the dominant timeline? How do you know that where we are right now is the controlling factor of past and future? The things that happen in our past lives that we experienced and those emotions that you die and then you come back, boom, the things that you're made of. So spiritual energy and brain waves, and all these things that interact, that kind of like the human body's like an incubator for the soul, even more than that, it's deeper than that. But the next level, what's the next level? So if you ask yourself now, what's my sense of purpose? Well, I know people that said, Dick Sutphin, I had him on the show, and he just passed away back last September, last September. Well, this last September. So he said, basically, what your problems are is what you end up carrying with you on the next level. So the people that commit suicide, for instance, take that energy and they take it with them. So when they're born again, they have that energy. So is it a system of energy recycling? We do see that in nature, right? We see that a lot in all the levels of life, certainly in nature. But we can get into a lot of questions on what, when, where, why, how, who, and all those things. I'm more interested in the experience and what you think you're going to take you with, what your meaning of life is. What's your meaning of life? People ask, what's the meaning of life? What's life all about? You don't have anything else to compare it to, for comparison purposes, comparative value. Well, I'm going to compare my life to Brad Pitt. I can't do that. I know it's like being him. I don't want to know it's like being him. He's going through a lot of hell in that divorce. All his kids, he didn't know what's going on. I can't even see them because she's keeping them from his kids and whatever. That terrible energy, that terrible emotion. You would think that there are people that have it all, but it's not the money that gives it all to them. You need money. Oh God, if you don't have money, you're screwed. You're screwed. Screwed. Screwed blue. And you need a lot of money. Not just like a little bit of money. You need enough to support yourself and then some. Just save a little bit of something, man. Enough to get the hell out of town if you need to. But look at Will Smith. His wife cheated on him. Will Smith actually said one time he wanted to be so famous that he could be with someone that would never want to cheat on him. And then there he is, top of the game, famous. I love Will Smith. I think he's really cool. He's a funny guy, nice guy. I think he's awesome. And I'm glad that he made it into what he did. I mean, the guy came a long way. I think he was good with music too. I mean, he's got a lot going on. And then here he is in Hollywood life, right? It's like, he's out there on his big tour bus, doing shows and whatever, this, that, making movies, running. His wife is there. She's living the life, big mansion, fantasy life, man. Kids you see his kids, like all types of problems going on there, man. Like they don't have an identity. The wife didn't have an identity. He doesn't have an identity. Do you have an identity? Do you know who you are? I'll tell you the meaning of life. Life is about being happy, yeah. Life's about being content, sure. But life is about having a code. And inside of that code is your identity. And if you are that, if you have that dominant core, people will understand that about you. They'll see that about you. You'll act a certain way. You'll be a certain way, totally unique. And then that's how you break free of the egg. You come out of that incubator and then you soar. And then people look at you like, whoa, they can't handle being around you. Some people, I had that problem for a long time, man, that I'm kind of really out there, I guess, like personality wise sometimes, and I'm a comedian. I'm loud. I'm obnoxious. I'm out there. I like to talk and laugh and whatever. So in a group of people, I get lit up from the energy, especially the more uncomfortable they are, the more comfortable I am because I'm kind of in that zone. I'm in the zone. Someone not long ago asked me if I was uncomfortable in certain situations. I was like, I'm never uncomfortable. Like, I never feel like I'm uncomfortable in any situation. I've experienced a whole spectrum of situations, man, and and it's an experience. Sitting there like, oh my God, I can't believe this. And I'm very uncomfortable in this situation. I can't even imagine. I can't even imagine thinking that to myself. I'm really uncomfortable in this situation. There's places that I go to, if it smells bad, you want to get the hell out of there. That's different than being uncomfortable. But whatever, that's fine. So you go forward. And then the weird guy in the room that people look at and say, "Oh my God, that guy's so loud and obnoxious." Oh God. Then all of a sudden you're on stage doing it, and those same people turn out and pay $50 to see you, and they're like, "Oh my God, he's so great! Oh, it's so funny," but they can't handle it. My friend Ray was like, "He's like, you're always on. That's the issue. You're always on." Like, well, you know what? Life is life. Where God makes us the way God makes us, right? I was a class clown at school, you know, whatever, man. I like having a laugh. I find humor in basically virtually nearly everything. And humor or sarcasm or something, I don't know, whatever it is. But your meaning of life is different than mine. Or maybe it's the same because we all want what's like, to evolve, right? And be left alone from the people that would do us harm because they're out there, and they're looking for you. They want you to be weak and not be strong. There's people that will shake you and break you. Look at this. The artist. No, I should say the simp formerly known as Prince. Right. Look at the Prince Harry, man. He's broken. The guy's broken. He's an emotional mess. You think that his mom did the right thing? People say all kinds of great stuff about Diana. I'll tell you, man. She put herself out there. She was riding the carousel. You know, maybe she was bursting to be free or whatever. You know what? To each their own. I'm saying if you have self respect, you treat yourself a certain way and you treat other people a certain way. You know, and the guy had emotional problems and damage from losing his poor mom so young. I mean, I can't even imagine it. And now this other one's got a hold of him, and she's being the mom. She's older. She knows the game. She knows what she's doing. She's separating this dude from his whole family, but you see it happening. So the guy is a prince. He's got untold wealth, right? Big Malibu Barbie house they bought. You know, still look at his face, look at his eyes. He's unhappy. He's broken inside. His experience of all that is negative. My experience of all that would be, well, let's have a party, man. It's freaking Malibu Barbie house. You know, kick Barbie the hell out of there and have a party, right? Have some cool people, chill out. A party to me is like two people. It's literally like two people, three, three people just sitting there chilling. I'm very simple. But some people like, they like big parties, you dance, whatever. There's a nice element to that. It's cool to be the one coming and going. When I was an entertainment writer, I would go to one place for a little while and review this, and go to another place for a little while and review that. So, you come and you go, and it's nice because you got your own flow. You make your own way. You don't have someone making the way for you. You don't have that person controlling you. You control yourself, what you like, what you don't like. It's like a restaurant. You go in, order what you want. You don't go in there and have someone tell you what you want. You're having mac and cheese. Shut up. You're going to eat it and like it and pay a lot of money and get the hell out of here. And that's like most restaurants in Ithaca, New York. Actually, that's the Ithaca, New York restaurant experience right there. Yeah. Pay a lot of money for horrible food and get the hell out. They look at you. The second you're done eating, they look at you. They want you to leave, man. They want to give that table to somebody else. I go out with my friends, used to anyway, before COVID. We sit there and chill out. You have some drinks, whatever, coffee. People still look at you. But it's more about how did you experience the restaurant? Did you feel like the people were looking at you? Made you feel uncomfortable? And then it prompted you to leave? You see, that's the crap I can't stand. You know? And there's a give and take, sure. You want to be courteous to the people around you. You want to be courteous, and be thankful also. Restaurants, businesses, anybody who is serving you, helping you, doing anything for you, you show them kindness too, right? But there's limitations to everything. And some people will take way too much. When they take too much, you're losing something. They're taking it from you. Like people who are at the ATM who take their sweet time, right? And I mean, they pull up there and they know they've got to put a bunch of checks in and sign them, do that all, and write out the receipts, put the ticket in with all that. So, yeah, they pull up, they know it. They don't care if someone's behind them. They don't care if other people are going to need to use a machine. They didn't prepare themselves beforehand when they get there to do it and do it quickly, right? Or they didn't get to the bank on time to go inside and use a teller. So there's people, you can tell I've been in that situation. I'm usually the one doing it. Actually, I'm very conscious, man. I'm always looking in the rear view to make sure I'm not in anybody's way. I'm trying to be courteous in the world, right? And that's just, and I'm not trying even. It's just me. It's what I was raised. My mama raised me with some respect for others. But the second others disrespect you, you let them know. That's how you balance it out. Because the unhappy people out there are the ones who are always suffering through some crap. You know those people. How you doing? Oh, my life is crap. Everything is crap. And oh my God, it's so crappy. It stinks. Like, wow, really? To the point where you don't even want to ask them anymore. How you doing? Ah, it's crap. Crap. Freaking crap fest. So crappy. I can't even wipe it out of my life. Wiping crap. There are people you avoid because they're like that, and you gotta feel all right. When it comes to friends, really good friends will be there for you when you need them. I'm not the kind of person that would impose on people. and ask people all kinds of favors. Even though my friends offered, like, hey, when I got knocked down, they're like, hey, you need help, whatever, And you just pull yourself back together. Had my mom, had other people too, whatever. You pull yourself back together, you get back on your feet again. You know what I mean? And then you try to be positive about it, because if things are going bad for you and you focus on the bad and your life is crap and everything is crap, that's exactly what it's going to be. And those people are always needing help. There's people I know on Facebook that are always needing help. They don't ever help anyone else. They don't ever help themselves. Nothing ever good ever happens for them. It's always some sad, tragic crap fest with their life. But who made it like that? Yeah, we're dealt the cards. I know. We're born. Oh, I was born into a whole freaking mess. You don't even know what a freaking mess I was born into around the people. My father was a sadistic, evil person, who got off on hurting other people. Yeah, great. And my grandmother was married to the same type of bastard. Imagine growing up around those types of people. And this was there was no escape. When you're a kid, there's no escape. These days, you could vent to CPS. They'll go arrest some people, drag them off. There's people that abused me when I was a kid that would be locked up right now. That's a good thing. It's a good thing. It's important that we protect the innocent. You can't coddle the innocent. You can't give the innocent too much, or they don't respect that either. There's got to be a zone that you provide safety, but you still have to go out there and make your mistakes to learn. I made plenty. My life is a work in progress. It's just taking a long freaking time. That's all. That's all. It's under construction. The road is closed. You have to go around. You know, you just go forward, no matter what kind of adversity hits you, man. Hey, man, people in your life are going to die. People in your life are going to do great things too. People in your life, and then you support them. You support them. Someone does your friend gets something great, they buy a nice new car. I know, and you know what? Me personally, I'm not into that stuff either, man. Like, and don't get me wrong, I like cars, but it's I don't know. I don't believe in flaunting things or whatever, but people, it's kind of sad because a lot of humans are defined, and like in the beginning of the show, what defines you, right? And whatever. A lot of people define themselves in material objects. You know, the cookie cutter McMansions, all the cars in the driveway look the same. They could be a BMW SUV or a Jaguar SUV or Cadillac SUV, whatever. They all look the same. They have no character anymore. These cars, they look like little pregnant roller skates, little bubbles, right? And all the women look the same. The kids look the same. They dress the same. They act the same. They talk the same. They are the same. All of them, no matter what color they are, no matter whatever, man. I'm talking about ones the same street or those McMansions. People are what they are, right? But what defines you is those material objects. Ooh, some jewelry. You like these trinkets. The car you drive with. What defines you? So today, like I was chilling, and I'm at this place right now. It's got I'm like renting a cabin, and it overlooks the lake and all that. Hills, lake, beautiful view, right? And I'm just sitting there. I needed a few days of just getting away from it all in the sunshine. It's springtime now, upstate New York. Getting out of winter. I just needed a few days. Just just I was chilling, quiet, right? Robin around, little birds, listen to the birds sing. It's one of my favorite things, man. And looking at the lake, same lake. It's got a lake monster, And then, like back in the 1800s, they ran it down with some big ass ship and killed one. But they saw another one, like the same lake monster, Loch Ness type of things, Seneca Lake, same. But I'm looking at the lake, thinking of that, and all of a sudden, this god awful noise, like it sounded like a jet engine from the 747, like like just before it starts, like was gonna take off, like really super loud, something venting and just blasting. I'm in the middle of nowhere, literally in the country, you know, and like here's this blasting noise, and I was kind of laughing. What's funny about I was reading this book of Moses and the Psalms and how to use Psalms for conjuring. I'm just, I think the eighth and ninth book of Moses, whatever else. I have a whole bunch of them. I was just reading about that and these angels that you use for conjuring. So I just read that part. This thing goes off. It's like, what the hell, man? I was like, oh my God. And so I look on Google Maps, like where I am, and I look just a few hundred yards south is like some kind of gas plant. There's just, I don't know what the hell they were venting out of it, but God, it was loud. So that's life. You could be chilling. You're enjoying the moment. You're loving it. Birds, view, you're in the sunshine. Everything feels so good. And then bam, something just has to ruin the entire thing. The entire thing. Did I let it ruin my day? No. I closed the windows. I was like, damn. I was actually expecting them to like evacuate the area, man. That's been my kind of luck lately. Last week I was at a hotel where some asshole pulled the fire alarm at 3 o'clock in the morning, thinking it would be funny, dumping everybody outside in 14-degree weather for an hour. That was nice, but you live and learn that way too, right? stay away from the hotel is actually they're actually doubling as a homeless shelter, and they didn't tell anybody. This guest checking in, and they didn't say, "Hey, by the way, we have junkies and whatever everything bad that you can imagine is there." Second night, somebody was banging their fist on something, not even the good kind of banging in a hotel room. They were like fighting and screaming and banging on a wall, going crazy. I'm like, yeah, there you go. That's why I need a few days in the cabin. That was and then you come here and it's like, a few months ago, I was at a Holiday Inn in Owego, New York, and it caught fire. It caught fire. You understand what I say? It caught fire with me in it. Hear this damn alarm going off. I go downstairs, smoke all in the hallway, the sprinkler going off, water gushing out, black soot crap. I go downstairs, like I grab my important stuff. And every time you go to a hotel, you keep all your important stuff in one spot, maybe one bag. And I mean your keys, wallet, everything you got, man. Keep it right with you. Because some crap happens, you got to get up and get your crap and run out of there. Boom. You know? Be smart about it because you never know, right? In hotels, but it's just and then the whole day in, I go downstairs and like the manager's there. She's like got her daughter there. They're staring at each other. I'm like, you gotta get people out of the building, idiots. So I'm also like a reviewer on Google. I'm like a Google top reviewer. It's kind of funny how it actually happened, but and then people like I got thousands and thousands of views of that review. I review these places, but I don't know why it happens. I mean, the whole loud and whatever and fire, fire alarm. So after the fire in Owego at the Holiday Inn, you could think that, okay, I've got PTSD from fires. And then someone pulls the fire alarm in the other place. Oh my God. It's like being woken up 3 o'clock in the morning in a deep sleep when they pull a fire alarm. Yeah, I know what it's like. It's not fun. So the reality is there are people that are going to be assholes. You can't let it ruin your life. Did I just feel like, oh, I'm so mad. Oh, it's going to ruin my life. Like Trump did that. for people. The people drove themselves into a frothing frenzy over this dude. And they were like, I hate him so much. And they just stressed themselves out. People like had heart attacks and died because they hated the guy so much. For what? For what? Laugh at people like the buffoon they are. If there's a clown in front of you, you're going to be all angry, or you're going to laugh at the clown, or you're going to be afraid of the clown. A lot of people are afraid of clowns. So it's up to you of your experience in life. So the meaning of life is the experience. And you have to take your positive vibes and make those experiences good. And think about even, if someone dies in your life or you love, you don't focus on the negative death part. And I know it's hard because I'm going through it now. I'm watching my mom go downhill. And you focus on the part that's okay, the memories, the things that were accomplished, the things that you learned, the love that you shared. That's the experience. That's the important stuff. It's not about, the pain from her cancer and all the terrible stuff. It's about the support and the love and that energy that you share. That's what makes life worth living. From birth to death makes it worth living. And you can't be sitting around depressed all the time. What happens to you? And you're not living your life. The very thing that you were granted, the miracle of life, you are throwing away. You're rejecting it. So it's up to you how you live your life. With that note, I'm going to end the show. This is me, Discovery Paranormal, right? Tune in next week's show. Who knows what's going to happen, man? That's the hodgepodge. That's the potpourri of madness in the world. You never know. On Discovery Paranormal. United Public Radio Network, UPRNTalkradio.com, 107.5 New Orleans, 104.7 in Pass, Christian. I'll see you guys next week, maybe. Bye.